So here we go with the last video of the Gellerpox Mutant, and well, we are going to keep working and finishing some details all around the miniature, and let's start with the worms that our friend got on his one in his back. So for the worms, I'm going to work them with a very clear base. Okay, I'm going to use the Ushapti bone. For the first one I painted on the frontal one was a nice yellow. Well, it's just to show you different ways to do them, okay? The worms are small pieces with very teeny details, so I think it's always better to work with clear colors and not get too much complications. And I will do some kind of wash over them. And any kind of wash, it can be a yellow one or a green or a red. It will mark all of these lines that they have the worms, and I think it's going to work pretty well with them. He also have here some flies, so okay, I think most of them are already painted. Let's check it. So with the same Ushapti bone I have on the brush, I'm going to mix it with the Aberland Sunset, okay, and I'm going to give a little bit more of light on the pustules. Here I have some problem with the camera, so I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing, working on the lights of the pustules. It's just to make a little dot, as always, trying to make it on the upper side of every detail. And as you can see here on the video, just with this little point of light, you are going to create the volume and the texture that we want to create on this on the miniature and this kind of details. So it's very important to have your brush with a well point, okay, not open or not a very big brush. That will help you to get more precision painting these small parts. Then, as always, if you want to give another light or if you want to make them more visible, I think I'm not going to do it, but if you want, you can do it going directly for a nice yellow or adding a little bit more of white to this mix. Just paint all of them, and that's it. But for the moment, I think I'm going to leave them as you can see them. And now I'm going to work with the Ideal Yellow, another of the yellows from Citadel. I love the yellows that they have, they are very intense. And now what I'm going to do is very carefully just a small dot on the glasses to create this effect of glass, this reflection that he have here, like if he has some kind of light or like the lens were shining. At this point I make a too big dot on the glass, so what I do is fix it with red, just going on the middle between the rest of the lens and the yellow dot, and going very carefully with just a little bit of the brush. I can fix it with any kind of problem. And I'm going to add again a little bit of orange just to keep this kind of shining that I was working on. and mixing the trough layer with the white. What I'm going to paint now is just on the opposite side of the yellow light to create and draw the form of the lens, a small line all around the opposite side of the yellow dot. This kind of effects you can use it also on jewels or in any kind of a small piece that you want to create, like a reflection, like a crystal effect. So keeping working on the head. Now I'm going to make a base for the teeth, and it's going to be a dumb bull with black. Very similar like the mix I used on the pants before. Okay, with this brown it will works perfectly because I'm going to paint with very clear colors every single teeth. And meanwhile this is drying, I'm going to reuse the gray I have already on the palette to paint all the screws that you can find on the horns. Just a little bit careful, paint most of it. If you don't want to paint entirely, you can leave a small part under the screws with the black, so you keep going with this kind of daylight we are looking for on all the miniature. Okay, so at this point I'm going to look for the light flesh or for some kind of flesh color, okay, just because if I want to grade that color with whites on the horns, maybe they look too similar, and on this way we are going to create a little bit more contrast. You can see here on the video that already you can make some difference between the screws and the horn just using different kind of whites or clear colors, and just going painting all the edge on the upper side, and we make more visible all this kind of teeny details that the miniature have. At the end, most of the work, most of the important result is to show all the details, and every time we are going to work on more smaller and smaller details, and there is where you can go one step forward on the quality of the miniature, just keeping carefully using very good your brush, going to small parts with small dots, and these small lights and small details, when they are visible, the miniatures get a lot of quality. Now for the chain, I'm going to use a very dark gray. As you can see, it's most 80% black and 20% white. I just have few grays, but most of the time, because I have white and black on my palette, I always go in mixing them because it's more faster than start looking for every single color. Okay, and because I have already some very clear gray on my palette, I'm going to use it for finish the claws of the fly. Just small dots, because I only give it two different colors, giving a third light. It's getting a little bit more of contrast and also a little bit more of work on it. Okay, at this point I'm going to work on the flies on this one that you can see on the video. Okay, and for it I'm going to keep doing a color scheme like the fly he have on his arm, And with the Scurvy Green from Vallejo, I'm going to give them all a base of the color, trying to covering everything. It's very disgusting. And that's it, we got this already. This with 2 more lights, it will work perfectly for what we are looking for, and it will have this kind of shining skin like the fly. Okay, and let's go back for the teeth, and in this case I'm going to use the Averland Yellow to give them the first layer. And here is just now work very carefully, trying to draw a line on every single teeth. Okay, not dry brush, because the gap between the teeth is not so deep, and also in this way I will have more control on where I'm putting the pine. And it's just, as you can see, just pushing a little bit the brush on the teeth, and the pine already gets there. And if you are not sure if there is a teeth or no, because the sculpt is not the best one in the world, just draw the lines, and you finally will put the color where you want. Here I make a small mistake. I take a little bit out of the paint with the finger, okay, then with the brush I use it with water to make it water, and also with the finger I just get dirty all the area, because the tone is green. Yellow is a complementary color for the green. I already like how it looks. This is something like some painters call a happy accident, so here you have a live example of it. And now with the Averland Yellow and white I'm going for the second light on the teeth, okay, to give them a little bit more of texture, or not texture, just a little bit more of volume. And just trying to go a little bit more thin, more teeny lines, to keep just a little of the Averland Yellow that we have done on the first layer. And now our friend is already with teeth, and the head is getting more and more detail. Okay, let's work a little bit on the chain, okay, that he has here on his back. I'm going for first light with a medium gray, like 50% yellow, 15 black, okay, and I'm just drawing the line in every single part of the chain. As you can see on the video, just going carefully, okay, nothing of dry brush. The dry brush is a very dirty technique that it works in some parts or for some miniatures. In this case I prefer to do it on this way, because the time I'm going to stay working on it is the same that if I do dry brush, and also I'm getting more control. I'm drawing the lines where I want, and my brush is not suffering, because the dry brush it's the best enemy of your brushes. I just add a little bit more of white to the mix, and now I'm just doing a small lines, as you can see, in all the parts of the chains. I'm going on the same side, just on the upper, and going to the half of every line. If your brush starts to open or whatever, use your finger or your palette to give him the form you need to keep controlling the pine where it's going. And as you can see, it's just work with patience and going to the very detail. At some point, if I see that it doesn't look how I want, I just give it a second layer and just small dots. Okay, and as you can see, here is the chain. You got all the detail that you want, and it only takes what, 3-4 minutes. For the case, I'm going to do a process very similar that we have seen just now on the chain, starting with a dark gray, going for a medium gray, and finally for a very clear gray. Okay, just working every time on a smaller area than before, and in this way we create the degree or the transition of the color that we need for these small details, and to keep the form of something metallic or something shining. Okay, so for the piece of cloth he has on the horn, I'm going to use a Valor Brown. Okay, maybe if you got some time or if you want to do something different, this kind of pieces, they are very nice to put here, like, I don't know, like a biohazard symbol or like a nuclear symbol or just a chaos or Nurgle symbol. But for the moment I think I'm not going to have time for the freehand, and we will see them on future videos. This guy is going to be very colorful. I say it before, but every time I'm using different colors. But well, this is also another way to show you how to work with different kinds of color. This Valor Brown, I don't know if they're still being on sale from Games Workshop, but for a base for yellows, it's a very good color. And yellow is one of the enigmas for a lot of painters, and I will show you, maybe not on this video but on future ones, a very easy tricks to get a super intense yellow in few steps. And now, to give some light on this part, I'm going to use the golden flesh from Vallejo that I'm using in a lot of other parts, and the ice yellow that I'm also using on a lot of different parts. And it's used to repaint or give detail, in this case on the nose of the monster, okay, or the face, just to draw the lines that maybe I put black on it. And here, just upside on the mouth, I'm going to paint a little small details to give him the texture that he have on the face. And also here on the upper side of the head, on the light area, I'm going to make few dots. As you can see that this helps to create more volume, and also this kind of dots and all of this is just to give more information, to give more textures to the miniature. Okay, it's very easy. Of course, when you want to do some textures more worked, you are going to need like a few more hours to get a very nice effect. And now for the downside of the mouth, he has like a metallic part. Okay, so I'm going for the same machine that I have been using on the different metal parts, that is dark gray, medium gray, and a clear gray. Three colors. In three colors on a small detail you can make a non-metallic. That famous and very super professional non-metallics. At the end, as always, it depends on how many time you want to spend on it, you will get one on another result. And now, keeping working with that gray, I'm going to paint the edges of the wings from the fly in the arm. Okay, just to keep working and finishing different parts of the miniature. As you can see, this is how I work. I don't keep an order. I'm just going painting what I'm going to see, what I think it needs, or just taking profit of the colors that I already have on the palette. So in this way I go fast, and meanwhile one part is drying, I jump to another one. Okay, it's very fast. It's a little bit crazy process, but this is how I like to work, and this is how I'm going to show you. It's one way to paint on a fast method. And now, for make a little bit more on contrast on the screws, I'm going to use the Solar Macarius, okay, very thin with a lot of water, and I'm just going to paint a little bit dirty all around every screw from the horns, to create like this kind of rust effect. This also works if you are painting with true metallics. It's also a good way, but I think in the future I will do some step-by-step PDF showing how to do a very easy effect of rust or oxide. And in this way it also helps to give more information to the miniature, and also to make more visible the screws and the different details he have on the horns. So keeping working on the mouth, I'm going for, as I told you, a medium gray, okay, 50-60% white, 50-40% black, and marking every single detail down here. I don't know if it's too clear on the video, but well, on the future ones I have fixed a few problems I have with the focus of the camera, so I already told you sorry for that moment. And also here, as you can see, I'm just painting like the tooth he have on the downside, and just working on the edge of every single side of this metallic part, just with few points and few lines. And I'm going to put one more light to this part, and I think it will be enough for it. Very tiny shine with the light flesh from Vallejo. Just one more tone, and I think the jaw will be done with this. And the same on the other side, on the upper area of the jaw and on the screw on the side, and then on the small teeth he has there. And in the corner another line to draw it. That line was a little bit a mistake, so with going back to a medium gray, I'm going to fix it just to keep the small line I wanted. And I think with this, I think mostly of the head it's already done. Let's go finish to the cloth on the horn, and I think that we are going very closely to finish this video. But for the moment, with this, with the Avalanche yellow, just a fair light, or the Avalanche sunset, Avalanche yellow, you know what I mean. And just to draw the different volumes that the cloth have. This time the light I'm going to go to the downside. As I told you, sometimes if you want to show that detail, you have to go on different directions with the light. It doesn't matter. At the end, all the miniature has to work as one single piece, and in a few minutes I'm going to show you how to do this, because already we have a lot of color and a lot of parts, and it looks very crazy everything. Just be careful with ideal yellow to get it a little bit more intense. This piece of cloth, it really needs some kind of freehand or something, because just that over there is like, okay, a little bit weird. Okay, so before we finish this series of videos, I'm going for one of the most funny parts of the painting process. Okay, one time we have the miniature at this point, very clean, everything marked. It's time to play with the glazes. Okay, in this case I'm going with the lavender yellow, that is one glaze, and with the X-Rust flame, that is a technical painting, but well, it's like a glaze. So what is this? It's a very thin paint, very thin paint, that works just to put another tone over other colors, okay? So I dry my brush on the paper, and just with the rest of the paint I'm going to paint with yellow in all the upper areas, okay? Why on the upper areas? Because the yellow is a very intense color, it's a very clear color, and I want to create more light and more contrast between the different parts of the skin, okay? So as you can see, I'm like just putting a little bit of yellow in every single part that is going light. Here in all the torso, in the back, in the head, everywhere. As you can see, I'm not going crazy, I'm just putting a little bit of it in every part, and now what we have is another tone of color added to the flesh, okay? So we are giving more information, we are giving more color. Also, this works pretty good for an urgent miniature like this. But the yellow, glaze of yellow on the light areas, it also works in any kind of skin. And now, to keeping working with the contrast on the skin, what I'm going to do now is to work with the X-Rad flame, sorry. And this green, what I'm going to put it is like working as a glaze, okay? Putting the painting on the brush and then drying it on the paper, just to have the control. And now I'm going for the shadow areas, okay? If sometimes you put too much on some point, with the finger you can take out. As you can see, I'm working on all the shadow parts, okay? And to create the connection between this claw on the arm and the shoulder, I'm going to put also a little bit of green here on the medium part of all this piece. So the color will be everywhere, and we are creating a connection between every single part of the miniature. More green on this side, close to the fly. Here under his boobs also a little bit. Here on the back he has a lot of information with the wound, the flying, the pulses, so I'm not going to complicate my life too much. I'm just going to put it all around here. This is just about to play. Don't go crazy with this. Just maybe if you are not too sure to put it, work on tiny areas and you will see the results, because one time this is dried, it doesn't shine anything, and what it gives is just more color, and as I told you, a connection point between all the parts of the miniature. So now I'm going to put a little bit also on the horns, and as you can see, just in few moments I'm painting everywhere on the miniature, and with any kind of fear. Just here, just there, and I think just a little bit more, but I'm not going to put more because I don't want to go crazy, and I have already what I wanted to show you. That's how this skin now, it looks like a real skin, like something live with a lot of different colors, lot of different tones, and also the horns, the claw, everything is now getting more connection between each other. Okay, all of this is like small parts of color. And now for the final touches of the miniatures, I'm going to go to work with the blood for the blood god, okay? One of the technical paintings from Citadel. This one is for make blood effect, and I think it's one of the best products that Citadel have on his paints. So I'm going to paint all the guts and all the intestine. I'm going to try not to put blood on the flesh, so I still creating this separation between these two parts, okay? I don't want to make a mess and make it all more confused. So just painting a little bit of blood where you want to put it, like as you can see on the video. It makes the sense like the blood is coming from inside, and also you are giving a very, very disgusting effect to the miniature. I'm putting a little bit of it on the cloth under the guts, to follow the sense of the blood. And in every single corner or point, as you can see, now all of these have a lot more of interest. And also the same here, just on the corners between the flesh and the wound. I don't want to apply it in all the wound. I don't want to create just a big maze of blood. You can do it, and it will look good, but I prefer to make it more not so heavy. And well, in the last 5 minutes, as you can see, just with few glazes and with effect, I have created a very well effect and atmosphere on the miniature. And well, for the moment, I think that is going to be all with this model. I hope you enjoyed these videos. I hope they will be useless for you, and well, see you on the next month on the next video. See you guys, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. Bye bye.